we would walk to school. We'd usually hook up with one or two friends. We'd
Yeah.
walk in a little group.
And then after I got my bicycle, I used to go meet Dad at 6 Mile in Wyoming, where he'd get off the bus and ride my bike with him on the way home.
It would make him so happy when we'd show up. He'd be so tired and just glad to see our little faces.
And Doris was in the Girl Scouts, and then I got into Cub Scouts, and Mom became a Cub Scout leader, Cub Scout mom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into the Boy Scouts, and Dad got involved a little bit. We went on a couple camping trips. That was enough for me. That's why I never got my kids into scouting.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard.
It brought back a lot of memories of my dad's hardship times when he was out, had to spend nights outside. And then I got a paper route when I was about 10 or about 12. And I started to make some money.
You got up real early in the morning to deliver those papers.
On Sunday. The rest of the week, it was after school. The station was about a mile from the house. I'd have to ride there, get my papers, and then go to my route. It was one street about a half mile long. And we used to fold the papers and throw them up on the porch and try not to break any windows.
People liked you. You were very faithful. They appreciated that you tried to do what
home
they
delivery
asked
of that
for.
paper. And then once a week I go collect and have to go back 2 or 3 times to some people that weren't home, and that got to be a pain. And Sunday mornings, it was an early route. I had to be there at 6 o'clock, and a lot of times Dad got up and drove me, especially if it was raining. And the rest of the time, we weathered it out all the way through the winter. I had to get snow tires for my bicycle, and
It was a heavy bag, too.
and depending on how many customers you had, you used to have a bag on the front of the bike and 2 saddlebags on the back. And did that for, I don't know, 3 years maybe.
No, you were dedicated.
And
You know, I never realized when Mom walked to the grocery store, she would bring groceries home, and sometimes it would get very heavy, what she was carrying, and she'd put it on one of the corners and come home with part of it, and then one of us kids would go back and pick up what she had left.
that's how trustworthy it was out there. You didn't have to worry about people stealing it. Until my green bike. When I was about 14, I had enough money, $86. I bought a heavy, no, it was like a racer but with wider wheels, and it was all decked out. And I used to ride my bike up to Blatchley's on Kentucky and Puritan and park my bike, go in and get some candy or comics or whatever. And one time I came out, my bike was gone, and I was heartbroken. And
Did they have a soda fountain in their pharmacy?
yeah, I think it was very small. And remember, after I collect my newspaper route, I used to go up to Indiana and Puritan and go to Puritan Electric Store, and they'd always take my change and convert it over to 5s and 10s and whatever. And they never had to count the money. It was always, I just stacked it up in dollars and so forth, and they'd just come and scoop it up and give me the money I told them it was. But
There was the corner where the bus stopped, too, right there in front of that electric store, the Puritan bus.
And then on the other side of the street was a bicycle shop and gas station, and grocery store was next to Blatchley's, between Wyoming and Kentucky. We didn't shop there much because they were a little more expensive. We used to go to what was called Foodland. It was down by North Lawn, about 6 blocks away, and the vegetable, the man in charge of vegetable was Anusbigyan. I don't remember his first name right now, but George Anusbigyan. And when Doris and I had a rabbit, we had a rabbit called Happy, a white rabbit. I used to go up there every day and get the tops off of the carrots that he would just throw away, and take them home for Happy. And one Sunday, Uncle Bob Arabian came to visit and showed him my rabbit. And he went back and picked him up by the ears and scared the heck out of Doris and me. He just picked him up like this. And he says, "That's how they do it." I said, "Well, I didn't know that, but
he probably would have bit us if we did.
Then one time, Happy did bite me, but that was, I'm sure, was an oversight.
Yeah, Dad made him a little dog house.
Yep.
It was really cute. We had to take care of that rabbit too. We had to feed him, clean him, etc. Talk to him,
And
pet him.
He was outdoors in the rabbit house all year long, and one year he didn't come out, and Doris and I went there, and he was frozen solid. We cried.
He was very old. He was very old and very overweight.
In fact, Eileen Cherovian Fantasian they got two rabbits. Uncle Harry and Dad got the rabbits. Mine was Happy, and hers was Snowball. And hers didn't last anywhere near as long as ours did. Let's see, every Sunday we would go to church, and after church we'd stop at the Victor Bakery and pick up some pita. And sometimes was missing a loaf by the time we got home.
Right, we'd buy 3 to come home with 2.
And a lot of times we would, almost every Sunday we'd go to the Gadikians on Ford Road, where it was Uncle Charlie and Auntie Oski lived upstairs, and Uncle Aram and Aunt Alice and Janice, Olivia, and Lisa lived downstairs. And the street behind us was the Arabians, Bob and Hike and Paruhi and Murgadich. And they lived right across the alley from the Gadikans. And across from them, unbeknownst to us, was Kenny Kazarjan and his family. Didn't really get to be close to Kenny until my teen years, but we'll come to that one later.